Pulse. Due to popular demand, this is the good news. The making of a military officer is back. And it's happening right here at Olorgi Sailia Prehistoric Site, where we undertook an arduous hike to the highest peak of the mountain ranges here. And trust me, you wanna be here next. But of course, the good news doesn't supersede that, but basically it complements that. So we said, hey, we found ourselves here. Why not make it happen? By the bonfire, and our meat is actually, that's barbecue. It's boiling away. You can't get any better than that. My brother, my comrade is sipping from a cup. This is all they can offer, but we're hydrating. We're taking care of what's left our bodies. It's been such a tough day. This is your one and only Byron Adera, ex and pioneer Kenya Special Forces officer, extreme, ultimate warrior, whichever word they wanna call it by, wanna call us by. And on this one, you know me as that guy who's in this field of safety and security, international consultant, blogger. I wear many hats, but foundational to all these achievements and to what I've become over time is just that, you know, being born again much later from the bowels of our battle monsters. I became a paratrooper, you know, second lieutenant. That's where I commissioned to, and that's basically was founded on that baseline, you know, the forming of forging in a hothouse or super training of a military officer. And so with me today, to enjoy this conversation and walk down memory lanes, you know, when you were doing the hike all the way up and we were thinking, whoa, daily navigations were seeming, sounding, smelling, feeling like this. Ngoja kidogo. Wow, we can't wait to talk about that. And the trainings that go into the making of a military officer. And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, and pals out there, whoa, can't wait to have this conversation with my brother, retired Captain Lonina, joined the Maroon Commandos, that's 7 Kenya Rifles, after his cadet training. And they say this, you know, for them to become that butterfly, they go through the larval stage. And if you were to ask a butterfly or a lover how it feels to be a butterfly, they don't know. That's how we felt before we went through cadet training. I mean, the shock. Man, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my guy.
Ah,
Thank you.
lovely, man. By the bonfire.
At the right, like the right height, not really that good with microphones.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
You might be holding guns or something like that, right?
Yeah, something lethal. You know, something lethal.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And it feels like, you know, the setting, man. It looks like the colors of Ukraine. I mean, the business is going down there, and one of my brothers now, you know, did challenge me to go support my brothers in Ukraine. Yeah. And that's why I think my guys did pick that.
So this was like a conscious choice.
I don't know, man. I was not conscious about it until it was popped out today. So
but I guess we still have support. Still an illegal occupation. I guess we still have support.
Man, the jury's out on that. But
yeah.
you know, well, I'll tell you this. I'm actually with Ukraine on this, because the bully is out there, you know, running roughshod and doing stuff that is, I know the geopolitics around that with regards to their discomfort with, you know, the other big boys and the players trying to set base, you know, around their home. But then it's a bully mentality by and large. But we are here because, you know, of that making. So we are one with the Ukrainians on this, the soldiers that are doing quite a good job saying and looking at the bully and saying, man, we are going to defend every inch of this country, and we don't want you to. We can sit down and talk like grown people. And so, man, I know the selection process, because it starts right there, getting the right raw material that gets to that factory institution to become a military officer. As I was introducing it, you know, the lover doesn't know what it feels like to be a butterfly. Same as, you know, when you get through that gate, or when you just receive that letter that, you know, they've now shortlisted you to be one of those special guys who've made the cut to start the training. You go in, everybody has different experiences, even if you were to get a bunch of butterflies together. But I mean, the experiences, or the level stage, even just the differences in environment, I guess, or the upbringing, What was it like for you, the selection? What was memorable for you?
I think the first thing that was memorable is the fact that there was so many uniforms in the area. You know, I wasn't really accustomed to seeing so many people in uniform, and just that visual impact of there's someone in an Air Force uniform and someone in a naval uniform. You don't even know at that point, just wondering why this guy has a different color from this guy. What does this guy do? But you know, eventually you come to know about it. Yeah. But that initial shock was it was so overwhelming. And consider this, that you're like a really young guy from the streets, basically. And this is quite baffling because, you know, you're used to just ducking around from cops and stuff like that. So now you see all these guys, they're just around there. You're like, oh my God, what if I do something wrong? And I don't even know I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, but they're really helpful. And they're just there to make sure that the whole selection process goes as smoothly as possible. And, you know, you kind of thank them for it after it. You know, you never know it. As you said, the larva doesn't know. It feels to be a butterfly. And, you know, during that stage, you have this kind of panic. But later on, you kind of think, oh, yeah, these guys had their own individual roles. And they had, you know, they had so much to do that you didn't know behind the scenes.
I mean, the whole idea, I guess, for them. What you see in your case, it was the uniforms. Yeah. What I saw was not just the uniforms, but the language, the culture shock, one, and two, you are there. I mean, the letters were well worded. You know, you are going in for General Service Officer Cadet interview. Yes. And so my idea of an interview, and you know, 9 out of 10, I was thinking you rock up and you got to be well dressed. I mean, for interviews ordinarily. So I rocked up in a cream, you know, blazer, like a full, good looking suit, man, very sharp in sharpshooters and all. But you get there and it's all very chaotic. Watu wa Nyanza wakae hapo, watu wa Rift Valley, and it's all chaos and it's all over the place. But then I think that it was really a well articulated and well choreographed chaos that was meant to actually bring out the best in us or shake out the dreamers. I don't know what you're feeling most with.
First of all, I also had a suit.
Okay.
It was a tracksuit.
Oh yeah.
I think I was ready for it from the jump, but I didn't know it at the time. You know, I just showed up with a tracksuit. I was like, you know, I have a suit somewhere. I'll ask for it. It'll show up just in case if it happens that these guys want this. But then I was like, you know, you go to the news and you see these guys and they're running around. No one's running around in a suit. You know, you just have to come prepared with something that feels comfortable and stuff. Yes. Yeah, and so I actually saw a few guys with suits and it was crazy.
You had some top grade, you know, what do you call it? Leakage, man. Pink.
As we call it in the army, also, you know.
I can neither deny nor
okay.
I'm not going to say it.
We ran in our three-piece suits, man, and it was amazing. Ladies rocked up in you know, heels.
No, in heels, yes.
Yeah.
They came through in heels and they were like, you know what, you guys need to stop that because you're going to break your ankles, my friend. This is not that type of interview. You guys need to get with the program, get some shoes, real shoes, you know. They were shocked too. Shocked. They just didn't know what to expect because suddenly this guy, you show up for an interview, you have all these heels and you're dressed smartly and they're telling you, my friend, you need to get rid of those.
It's a checks, I don't know. Then you are the baseline and you're told it's going to be several kilometers of a run.
First of all, that was a shock because I'd never run in my life. Okay, unless I'm running away from something, never really run away. Just willy-nilly, you know, don't start running. How do you just start running, you know? But I mean, I held my own. I wasn't the first person, but I certainly wasn't the last. I'm grateful for that.
This is the part that I hated most. There was quite a bunch of guys who were discussing.
Each number, you know, and they're discussing between themselves. You know, our brothers from the Rift Valley. And they say, man, you know, for you to make it, you got to actually squeeze in the top 10 of you know, whoever we have around us here. And I'm thinking, man, it's been in campus, you know, doing weights, pushing weights and doing all sorts of things. So I had quite some good frame. At bulk up quite a bit, static energy going for me, but then not this marathon kind of stuff.
See, you had kind of a leakage.
Not
all buff like that. being buff. You had some kind of inside knowledge that you need to have some sort of strength. But I kind of get your point. I was also scared because I saw some guys that were really fast. We just got launched. We haven't even left the stadium. These guys are at the gate. They're leaving the gate. They're outside. I'm like, you know what? We're never going to catch up these guys. This is just destined. This is like, they just brought us here to embarrass us and then tell us to go on our merry way. But yeah, you never know what happens.
You never know what happens, and I think that was the point.
Because I remember when we were doing this, we've been on set with Babuya Bonaya, Major Retired Babuya Bonaya from 76 ARB, my intake. And it was, this core, the core, the sweets that Igor told us kids.
Green ones.
The green ones, yes. Yeah. He had quite a bit of them in his pocket or something. That's what ideally made me pass, that literally not drop out of the race, by itself.
Does it make you faster?
Not at all, it doesn't make you faster.
You know that when you start running again. Like a packet of the cause in my pocket, something like that.
That's all. I think the psychological, it basically worked on us.
Psychological makeup that, it is refreshing, by the way, because you get to a certain point and we had basically set ourselves up for, we are going to literally just make it somehow, follow people, follow the trail. But we'd run a couple of meters and basically just walk. So for us it was, leg it, walk it, leg it. Yeah, and then this guy rocks up and it'd been in that rhythm for some time, only that we were not noticing. So I was alongside Billy. We ended up in the same unit, the parachute regiment, and later in special forces. And for him he'd given up. So ideally we were basically psyching each other up with him. So we see this guy who overtakes us and runs like 100 meters and then starts to walk. So more like this guy is just teasing us, sort of. So we get to him and his cheeks are bulging with something like, what the hell is going on here? So, he says, you guys need some sweets? Why not? Because we're thinking this guy has some good stuff going for him. Man, and so it was just the three of us and we were more or less like running psychologically, man. We'd given up on ourselves saying, man, we're just gonna make it. But somehow it started overtaking people, The sign for us was trousers that are left on the road and coats. And we're thinking, oh, coats, fine. Coats are actually ties.
That's how people decide, I don't need these things at this point. It's better just go on the side of the road, but I need to run. You need to finish it. Because there's something about like, I don't know, I think it's the competitiveness of the human spirit.
Yes.
That once you start, no matter how insane the odds are,
Yes.
you have to see it through.
Absolutely.
You really have to do it, and that's the beginning of how you get the right people for the job.
Absolutely.
The people who don't give up, no matter what. The odds are stacked against them. You're in the boxing ring, and you're a really short person. Yeah. But there's this monster of a guy who's in the ring with you, and you're supposed to fight and box and do that.
Yeah.
But then, you stick with it. You stick with it and you go crazy, and they're like, this guy has some heart. Yes. And they're like, yeah, we could push him to the next stage, see what he does,
the giant is worn out, and you've seen that practically in life. And what you're talking about is actually
And I guess that is exactly, not guess, now that I know and now that you know this, that's exactly what these guys were looking for. Yes. In terms of that makeup, that, the mental makeup, the mental toughness, the never giving up spirit. And I think that's exactly what was resident in us, not just some of us, but all of us that now made it to a point where they said, you guys are the right raw material. I think that's fairly much to be a fair judgment to the selection process. The Army does some crazy selection, to identify the right raw material. They may miss it by a mark or two, but the right raw material that basically forms that fodder that gets taken through the factory institution to make military officers. That, in all fairness, I don't know what your judgment.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree with that. Sometimes you find some people and they ask you, okay, so this person is really short, or this person has a really small stature. How did they manage to get into it? And that's where the mental, especially for officer cadets or people who are going to become officers, it's not just about brute strength. It's also about your mental strength and your ability to reason and come up with ideas on the fly. That's exactly what they're looking for. It's not just about what you can do with you can do like 250 push-ups or 500, you know. That's not it. That's not everything. I mean, it looks good if you have an officer who is that big. No, I'm not. I know. I'm sorry that it sounds like I am, but you also made it through, regardless. You see, and that because that you kind of have the whole package. Let's say the whole package. You're big and strong, and you still have your mental fortitude in line with what they want. You see, so that's it. It's not always about the physical abilities. It's mostly about what you can think, your cognitive skills.
The business of handling, like literally life in your hands, is so serious a matter to just assume that's going to be in the hands of someone who's just fairly mechanical.
You know, with one decision,
yes,
you could start a war. You know,
Yes.
you could be in a border post, and you just take the decision to fire at someone who you see on the other end. Diplomatic crisis immediately. You know, you need someone who is able to think and rationally make decisions on the ground without having to go back and consult with higher headquarters, because some of these decisions are made like this. You know, they're made like this.